Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony, and thank you so much for joining us for ECOM and Beyond, the best morning show on YouTube, aka that starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, broadcasted from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. With me, as always, is my co-host Nate. Every day I'm hustling.
What up, everyone?
And we have a very special guest today, guys. We have Kevin. His YouTube channel is 718 Breaks, and he is a breaker. He breaks cards on YouTube and sells them on eBay. It's really awesome. Can't wait to share with you how he does it. But Kevin, do you just want to take a minute and explain like who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Just first and foremost, I want to say thanks so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Anthony and Nate have actually bought into my breaks recently, so really awesome to be here. So what I do is I do what's called group breaking for sports cards. So for those of you who aren't aware, it's just a way of being able to open sports cards at a lower cost for the buyers. There are different boxes that come out from the two main companies, Topps and Panini, and they have different price points, and some of them can be very high. So by group breaking, you have an opportunity to get into these boxes and get cards that you would like without having to spend the full price tag that the boxes would cost. So for example, if you're a Yankees fan and you would only really care about Yankees cards or cards that you could potentially hit for the Yankees, maybe Aaron Judge or Derek Jeter or Mickey Mantle if it has Legends cards, it's a way of you being able to just buy the Yankees cards from the sealed box. So any cards that may come out of the New York Yankees, they'll be yours. Any card that comes out that's not the New York Yankees, that's for somebody else. So I sell those breaks on eBay in different spots. For Major League Baseball and the NBA, there'd be 30 spots for the 30 teams. And then for the NFL, it'd be 32 spots for the 32 teams. So people are buying these spots and they'll hit the cards for the team that they purchase. And that's really a brief intro into group breaking. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's kind of like the dumbed down version for if you're new to it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've like really just been obsessed with it as of late, and like been basically every night watching and buying teams and stuff like that. It's just been incredible. I do want to take a minute and just say hello to a few people that are watching today. What is up to Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller? Good morning, my man. We earned another point into the giveaway today. Got Jennifer Hayes, one of the best mods in the business. I appreciate you being here, Jennifer. Thanks for all the support. There you go, Nate.
No money, G
Unit.
What up?
We have Natasha Natters in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Simply Dana. Thank you for being here, Dana. We have Zion Williamson's best friend, Nikki T. Thank you so much for being here, Nikki. Definitely appreciate it as well. Billy Road Tech, good morning. Hey, Summers, how are you today? Got Gate City Picker in the house. Paul's one of the guys that actually turned me on to the sports card community on YouTube. Flippin Accountant in the house. What's up, Justin? Good morning. Got Shane M. This dude's got like 43 points for the giveaway today. This dude's killing it. My man, Shane M. Christina Moore's in the house. What is up? Good morning. She said today is the first day of garage sales in her area, so she's getting prepped. That's awesome. I hope you get some really good stuff. We got DC Sales in the house, the master of the license plate. Card Hunters NYC, appreciate you being here. Kelly, the ECOM Mom Ward. She's the master of the roundhouse kick. Got Swamp Picker. What's up, Glenn? Good morning. Got my buddy Dave Miller in the house. Good to see you, Dave. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. Ventures with the Hudsons. What's up, guys? Any brands? She's got them brands, y'all. Reseller Man's in the house. Good to see you. Good morning to you, Myra. Appreciate you being here. Michelle Lathan, good morning. Moronic Pest in the house. Billy Picker, what's up, man? He's been a part of your breaks as well, Kevin.
I do remember Philly Picker. What's up, buddy? Thank you for joining.
Tim, good morning. Appreciate you being here. Seesaw Flips is in the house. I know he's a card guy too.
Seesaw Flips. What's up, buddy? How you doing? I just turned on my chat. Thank you, Card Hunters. I appreciate that, my friend.
There's Cajun Reseller. He's the king of the broski points. What's he have, like 50 some, Nate? My man.
How do you get a broski point?
So pretty much anytime you comment on one of my videos or one of Nate's videos, or you're like first in chat, like we have people that come and tailgate for the morning show, and they're just there like an hour early, just chatting with each other and stuff like that.
Love it.
Broski points for that, and just different things that we do on the show.
All right, I'm gonna try to get on that. Better watch out, guys. You're gonna have another person tailgating their show.
So what we do is with the points is normally the first show of every month we do giveaways. We'll give away like merchandise. Like you can't really see it that well. This is one of Nate's shirts. Like every day I'm hustling. I have Picksburgh shirts. We have shirts for the show. Like right now Nate's wearing an ECOM Beyond shirt. You can't see it that well, but it has like a Mr. Burns on it, which Mr. Burns is one of like the memes of the show because Nate works for a guy that looks just like Mr. Burns and treats him just like Mr. Burns. So there's always these stories on the show of like what's happening at Nate's job with Mr. Burns this week and stuff like that. So
that's why Nate's so tired when he's getting into my breaks. He's like, just got back from work. Mr. Burns working you to the bone, huh?
Pretty much. Yep.
I dig it.
I want to say good morning to Simply Dana. Appreciate you being here, Dana. And I think I got just about everybody. Uncle B, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Cajun says, do you still give points for being a guest? Yeah, we do, Johnny. Yep, you got some points for being a guest. And we also give points for the people that bought out of the auction, too. So all of that stuff is, yep, Nikki T says there's a lot of Mr. Burns and Doo-Doo Brown. So I guess we should mark that 734 was the official first reference of Doo-Doo Brown today. Because normally they'll keep track of that too, Kevin.
Okay.
So that's a big segment that we do is Doo-Doo Brown too.
I'm with it. Speaking my language.
Yep. Speaking of which, Reseller Man says he loves the Mr. Burns updates. Do you have any updates on Mr. Burns, Nate? Anything new? Are you able to hear me? You're muted, Nate.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have any updates because I was off yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm sure there might be something today.
Yeah, I'm sure he's.
We'll be tuning in on Monday to find out.
Yep.
He misses me and makes sure he wants to harass me after me having a day off. So.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, Kevin, what got you into doing breaks?
So I have a similar story to, I'm sure, a lot of the people who buy into my breaks. I collected sports cards as a kid. So I grew up in the 90s. So I would, every day I would skip school and buy sports cards. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I would skip out on lunch. I wouldn't skip school the whole day. I'd run across the street it wasn't a local hobby shop, but it was a small retail store that had retail packs of sports cards, and I'd buy them every single day, as a kid. And I was into it up until about high school. I was going to like local sports card shows, which were a thing as well. So I would go to sports card shows, I'd buy cards, I'd sell cards, just meeting a lot of different people. And then I kind of stopped probably from high school until my late 20s. And then somehow, I think I was just on YouTube and I came across group breaking. And I found a breaker that I liked who, I wasn't buying into breaks. Like you can, like my breaks, you can watch for free. You don't have to buy anything. You're free to watch. And I for about a year, I just was watching a couple of breakers that I found who I just liked the way they open cards. I liked, it's kind of like it's entertainment in a way. Even if you're not in the break, you have someone talking about their day, about their life. They're opening the cards. There are people in chat who are talking about their days. So it's definitely a form of entertainment as well. And to be honest, like I said, I watched group breaks for probably a year or a year and a half before I ever bought into my first one. So I was just watching and seeing what cool cards came out because at heart, I'm probably a sports card nerd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just watch and see what came out. And then finally I bit the bullet. I knew that there was a way you could buy into these things, and I did. And I got super lucky. The first group break I ever bought into, I think I bought a $50 spot, and I got lucky. I got a Mike Trout autograph card, which is a card that sells for probably close to $1,000. So I think ever since then I was hooked, and I started buying into more and more. And at some point I kind of decided, like, I have all this product, and why don't I give it a shot? I actually started last year in 2019. So I started recollecting again in 2017, just watching the group breaks. And then I bought a couple of packs and boxes here and there, but I got into the group breaking myself in 2019, early 2019 with my first break was last year's Select Basketball was the name of the product. And I broke that. And since then I've kind of been off and running.
That's awesome, man. How long have you been collecting for?
So it's been on and off. Like I said, I was collecting when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I'm 32 now. So if you want to count the whole time, it'd be about 25 years. The actual time collected between 7 and 32, probably about 10 years.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What's like the best card in your collection?
Good question. So I actually have a few that I'd say. I actually have stuff on the table behind me. That's one of my guys right there. That is a Luka Doncic.
That's awesome.
Camera. It's from Select last year, my favorite product. Got me back into collecting. 18-19 Select. It's graded PSA 10. And it's numbered to 149. White rookie card of Luka. That's definitely up there. So yeah, that would be one. I have a lot of Trae Young's stuff. He was also a rookie last year in last year's basketball class. So I'd say probably a Trae or Luka card that I have.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you, Cajun Roots Reseller. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Now, did you pull that out of a pack, or did you purchase that like on eBay?
That one I actually purchased on eBay. Yeah, that one I purchased on eBay. I did not pull from a pack. There's always it's one of those things. There's always you remember it more if you pulled it from a pack or if you got it in a group break. It's hard to explain, but yeah, if you just buy the card on eBay, it maybe doesn't have the same sentimental value. But that is one that I bought on eBay. I bought it ungraded though. So I bought it. It's called Raw when you buy a card that's not graded. Mm-hmm. And I sent it into PSA and it got a grade of a 10, which is a really big boost to cards' values if you get them graded and if they get the highest grade, which is a 10. So that's why it's become one of my best cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been getting a lot of cards in from Kevin lately, and they're great quality, and they're cards that you normally wouldn't get. And the really cool thing is, like, first time I ever bought into his thing, he sent me an extra card. He knew I was a Cavaliers guy. You can't really see it because of my green screen, but dude, I really appreciate the Colin Sexton. I just wanted to make sure I thanked you for that. But
yeah, we chatted a little bit, and I know that they were your team, and I had a couple of Cavs cards sitting around, so I thought I'd find a good home.
Well, I appreciate that. It's a great home with me, man.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, but I just wanted to officially thank you for that. But yeah, it's a great way to get cards on the cheap. What I like to do is there's like some teams that I know of that have rookie cards that are kind of players that are under the radar, so you can kind of get those teams cheaper.
Oh yeah,
and it gives you an awesome opportunity to hit these rookies. So I've been blessed in the fact that like I have a whole stack of cards here now that that I can either stash and let it go up in value, or like if I wanted to, I could put them right on eBay right now, and those make like the hottest set out there.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's a thing that a lot of like the people who are a little more in the industry that they'll do. They'll search. You try to find a player you think is undervalued, who might be on the come up, and then you start buying that team in a lot of breaks, and it's a way of getting collecting a lot of cards of that player, even if there are two guys on a team. Something like that, like the Cavaliers in basketball this year, they have a couple of rookies.
Yep.
So yeah, people do things like that, and it's something that can pay off. Like, so we broke a lot of a product called Prism this year. It's 2019-20 Prism basketball. So obviously there was a last year for Prism, and Luka Doncic, the guy whose card I just showed, he was kind of the big guy in that set. This time last year, you could have bought his Prism rookie card raw, ungraded, for about $10 or $15. That same card now, you're looking at about $200 raw, ungraded. If you get it graded and it gets a PSA 10, you're looking at $450 to $550. So I'm sure there are a lot of people who bought into a lot of group breaks, bought the Dallas Mavericks, and picked up a handful of Luka Prism rookie cards on the cheap, and now are sitting on a very nice investment.
Yep. I was listening to Gary V talk about how last year he was picking them up for $35 a pop, and people thought he was crazy paying full like market value for them.
Yeah.
And the ones he was picking up at $35 a pop are now like $600 a pop. So yeah, it's super smart to get in, especially like what you're doing, man. If you can get a team on the cheap, you know what I mean, and then you have that player that's going to mature and the value is just going to keep climbing. It's definitely well worth it.
Yeah, the thing is, like the best example I could give actually. So Luka's one example. He was one of the higher guys last year, actually, even when the product came out. But things have just shifted with the sports card market so rapidly.
Yeah,
like on release day last year, Luka was probably the highest selling rookie, and his rookie card was a $10 or $15 card. Whereas this year, it's Zion Williamson, and on release day, that's a $200 card.
Yeah.
And, people have varying opinions on Zion versus Luka, but, nobody's going to tell you Zion's a 20 times better player than Luka. So it's showing you where the market is, that it was a lot lower last year compared to this year. But the best example of what you're talking about, like getting a team on the cheap and really, having a nice little come up, would be Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's one of the stars of the NBA now. Yeah. I believe he was a rookie in 2013. So that's one of the years where I wasn't collecting, but there's still cards being bought and boxes and packs being sold. And he wasn't the top pick. I think he was picked around 16th or so in that draft. Yeah. So he would have been a very cheap card to get then. That's about when group breaking started. So probably not too many people bought into group breaks then. It was a few years ago, but the equivalent of somebody like him, somebody who's just very under the radar, that was, those cards were probably $1 or $2 a piece back then. And now his raw Prism rookie, I think, is $500-$600 a piece. You're looking at like graded PSA 10 of like roughly $1,500. So that's a guy, he was not the star when that product came out, though. He wasn't the Zion Williamson of this year or the John Morant. He was one of those guys on those lower cost teams that you're talking about. Yeah, buying up, he was one of those guys, and you never know who's going to be the guy who comes in and in a couple of years becomes a superstar. So yeah, I think buying those lower cost teams is a really sound investment, and especially if you're somebody who's new to it and trying to dip your toes in the water without jumping in, fully head first. It's a good way of doing it. You get like a couple of the teams that sell for a little less, and hold on to and see what you can do.
Yep. And Zion, or I mean, not Zion, but Giannis, he was definitely one of those guys, him and even Kawhi Leonard, when he was drafted, like those are guys that like, me and Nate been talking about it, like maybe just stashing a few of these like lower value rookies, because even a few years from now, even if they don't become what they could be, the rookie's probably still going to only be worth couple dollars, if you stash it, you could have like the next Giannis on your hands, or like the next, whatever, so it's definitely worth, at least stashing a few guys that you believe in.
I mean, the way that I see it, if you have 20 different rookies who are all, right now, if you look them up on eBay, if they're selling for maybe between $1 and $3 a card, the lower guys, if you have 30 of them that say sell between $1 and $3, If you sold all of them, you would get $30 or $90. Yeah. But if you hold all 30 of those in 3 or 4 years, if one of those guys, which is very possible, as you can see from the rookie prices of the guys who are stars now, if one of them becomes a $150, $200, $300 card, even if those other 29 cards were worth pennies on the dollar, you're still ahead than selling it now at, $1 to $3 a piece. So you need one of those guys to come in. So I personally, for the most part, don't sell any rookie cards, especially the lower end guys. I might sell a Zion here or there, depending. Also, like if I have doubles, if I have the same card twice, I'll usually post it. But yeah, any like lower end rookie cards that just don't sell for too much right now, I hold all of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to start doing that as well. Whenever I, first started pulling them, who cares about, Kyle Guy or Isaiah Roby? It's like, well, I mean, who knows? They could be awesome, and I just haven't watched very much of them playing.
Kyle Guy is a legend right now in Virginia. He was during the NCAA tournament. He was an absolute legend. So he's always going to have, like, the thing about somebody like him specifically, he's always going to have a following. So even if he doesn't become a great NBA player, that card that maybe you can only sell for $1 or $2 now, you'll very likely be able to sell it for that same price in a couple of years, because there's going to be a lot of University of Virginia fans who remember him winning them that championship. So somebody like him specifically, he's always going to sell. So like, I don't see any reason to sell him now. You hope he has a good NBA career and that card goes up. And if he doesn't, I don't think it can really go down.
For sure.
Yeah, more or less like the rookie cards that I'm purchasing now, and even some of them sniping on eBay. I call that my 401k investment, because like you said, you're paying, like there's RJ Barrett's and Andre Hunters out there that are like $1, a couple bucks. Like, and reselling, it's all about buy low, sell high. And sometimes you gotta wait for your money sometimes. So why not spend a couple bucks? It's not going to hurt your budget, but the upside is so large that it could be like literally like life changing for you if you hit on the right player, like he was saying, like with the Giannis's, and like if someone had Luka was hot from the beginning, but I mean if you bought his cards say last year, right out the pack, they might have been a lot cheaper than they are now. I wasn't collecting back then, but
they were a lot cheaper. Yeah.
So like they're doubling. I mean, I've heard Gary Vee talk about buying like LeBron rookies and Tim Duncan rookies and players like that, where either you have to watch the market and kind of understand their career, and then also like just buy at the right time, because if you buy late, it could cost you a lot more money to invest, but you're still going to have that uptick as long as that player really did well.
Absolutely, 100%.
So I just want to say good morning to a few people that joined us recently that we didn't greet yet. Good morning to Tom Cruise. Appreciate you being here, man. Thrift Beast, what up, dude? Appreciate you being here as well, my man. He said he got a lot of Kyle Guy and Cam Reddish. I want to say what's up to Kevin, Never Ending Saga. Appreciate you being here, man. Best Offer Queen, what up, Aaron? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here as well. Stroke of Luck, what up, Frank? How is Texas treating you, my man? Can't wait to hear about it. Dan M shared a link for anybody that's unfamiliar with what a break is. It kind of explains it. We're actually going to do a live one for you, though, during the show. So you will actually get to see it in all of its glory. I think I said hello to everyone that's here. OBX Picker, what's up, Eric? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Cajun Reseller did have a question. He wants to know, what is the point where you send a card in for grading?
Okay. So that, it's definitely not, it's subjective to an extent. So what you would do is when you get your cards, whether you pulled them or you got them from Group Break or whatever it is, you would take a look at the card. What you're looking for is any flaws. So the grading companies grade on a few different things. They grade on the surface of the card. So you would just, pull the card out. You ideally should be keeping your cards in a penny sleeve and top loader. They're pretty common supplies you can find on eBay, Amazon, wherever else if you type in penny sleeves and top loaders. So that's what most people keep cards in. I'd pretty much keep any card worth more than, let's say, $2 or $3 in a penny sleeve and top loader. If you buy like a box of cards, or even if you buy into a group break, you'll see you're going to get a vast amount of cards. You can get, in some boxes, you'll get 250, 300 cards. And penny sleeves and top loaders do have a little cost. So you may not keep every card in that, but my general rule of thumb is probably anything over $3 is always going to be in a top loader. And remember though, like we've been saying, sometimes those cards that aren't worth $3 now could be worth 100 or 150 in the future. So make sure even the ones you don't store in a top loader, you keep somewhere where you're going to come across it, where you're going to find it. They sell what's called monster boxes. I saw somebody in the chat mention monster boxes. So it's just big cardboard boxes that you put together that can store like up to 3,000 cards. So you'd probably want to put the cards that aren't in top loaders in those. But the better cards you'll have in a top loader, you'll have in a penny sleeve. So you would take it out of that to look at it to see if you think it's a candidate for grading. What you're looking at is the surface of the card. You're trying to see if there's any scratches, any thumb marks, any fingerprints. Sometimes the cards, unfortunately, don't come out of the pack in perfect condition. Myself, as a breaker, I try to point that out if I see it immediately. Sometimes there's like quality control issues, whatever the case may be. There might be a little scratch, there might be a thumbprint, whatever the case may be. And then sometimes, obviously, if you're touching the card, you're playing around with it, or during shipping, the card can move a little bit. So yeah, you just really want to see, first and foremost, how the surface looks. That's one of the 4 things that the companies look at. They also look at the corners of the card. So just the very corner of the card, you're looking to see if it's like crisp would be the best word, I'd say. You don't want it to be bent or like have any white showing ideally. Like it should just be like, imagine like a perfectly symmetrical, I guess cards are like closer to a rectangle than a square, but you just want it to be like perfect. You don't want there to be like imperfections on the corners. They also look at edges. So the edges of the card as well, same thing, you just don't really want to see whiting. A lot of the cards are like chrome. So if the entire thing is chrome, like if it has damage on the corners or edging, you'd probably see like a little bit of white. So if you see whiting, you might not want to put that card in for grading. And then the last thing is centering. That's the thing I personally have the most trouble with. A lot of people just have an eye for those things. Like if you're an artist or you do photography, you'll know centering pretty well. If you're somebody like me who can't even like take a picture for Facebook or Instagram, centering probably not your strong suit in general. But on sports cards, yeah, you're going to look at the card. You just want to see that it's well centered. There are ways you can like look up online. Certain sets have ways of measuring the centering easier than others. But yeah, those are the 4 things that you're going to want to look at for grading. And then me personally as well, you want to make sure it's worth the cost of grading. So, if you have a card that's worth maybe $5 or so, a lot of the times it's not going to be worth it to get it graded. There are a lot of different costs associated with grading and different ways you can send the cards out. The sooner, pretty much, there are different time frames that you'll get the cards back from grading. And the quicker you want it back, the more expensive it's going to be. And then also they give you discounts for bulk shipments. So if you ship out maybe 200 cards or 150 cards, you'll pay less than if you shipped out just 3 or 4. But yeah, either way, I think the lowest cost you can pay for grading a card, I want to say is about $8 or $10 if you do bulk. So yeah, you want to make sure you probably don't want to be sending out a card that's only worth, $5 raw and $20 if it gets the perfect grade, if you're going to be paying $8 or $10 for it. So you definitely want to send out something that's probably a little higher end. But yeah, if you have like very high end cards like that Luca behind me that I showed before, like that raw is probably a $400 or $500 card. And I sent it into PSA. I think it cost me $30 or $35 to get that card graded based on the time frame that I picked. And it came back a PSA 10, which is the highest grade they give.
Nice.
Roughly, I'd say 40 to 50% of cards you send out are going to get 10s. If you eyeball it, there'll be cards that you see imperfections immediately that you don't send out. Yeah. So I'd say that's maybe 20 or 25% of everything you're going to look at, you're going to see an issue. So those 75% of cards you don't see an issue with, I'd say about half of them might get a 10. So that Luca, it got a 10. It was maybe a $500 card raw. It cost me $40 to get it graded. And now in a PSA 10, that's probably a $2,000 card.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, the $40 investment in getting it graded, probably increased the value of that card 400%. So you just want to make sure that the easiest way to do it, honestly, if you have a card that you're even thinking about getting graded, there are two main companies. It's BGS and PSA. BGS, their highest grade that they give is a 10. That's very rare, though. I'd say probably less than 10% of cards get that grade. What a lot of good condition cards get is what's called a BGS 9.5. That's really what you're shooting for. Again, that's similar to PSA, who does the 10. Again, you're looking at roughly 40 to 50% of your cards. If you look at them on your own, getting that grade, the way I would do it is just type in your card on eBay, see what it sells for, raw and ungraded like you have it, and then type in that same card, type in BGS 9.5, type in PSA 10, and if you're seeing a major increase in price, you'll know it's worth forking out that money and sending out for grading.
Thrift Beast was asking, in your opinion, would it be better to have current basketball cards graded with PSA or BGS?
Completely subjective, to be honest. There's no right answer. I personally prefer PSA, but that's me personally. Like, the room would be pretty split, honestly. If you asked a lot of people in the know, a lot of people would say BGS, a lot of people would say PSA. There's also a company called SGC, which is growing really quick all of a sudden. I think they've been around for a little while, and I think they mostly did vintage, like older cards from like, the 80s, 70s, even like the 1920s.
Black labs.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I don't know what's been going on, if Gary Vee or someone's been recommending them, but the last
Gary Vee's been talking them up.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. So
their prices are catching up to BGS and PSA. That's what people care about. You want your cards to have the most value possible. So there are a lot of there's a lot of different grading companies that we haven't spoke about, but a lot of them, like, their values aren't quite where BGS and PSA are. If you get that perfect grade, SGC is another one who's catching up. They're kind of taking the industry by storm right now.
Right.
So they also should be in the conversation as well. But that to me it's really all about personal preference, whether it should go to PSA or BGS or SGC.
Dave was asking what kind of turnaround time you've been seeing from PSA now.
Yeah, that's a great question. It varies. So I've actually personally, I've only sent out 2 orders to them ever. Both of them have been at Sports Coach card shows I was at, and PSA will have a booth, and you can fill out some paperwork and leave your cards with the people at the booth. And then they have different services. I've done economy both times. So I think the first time I dropped my cards off with them was in December of 2019. I want to say early December, and I got them back in mid-January 2020, so about a month and a half turnaround time, which is pretty good. I think they say about 30 business days is what they go with. And then the second time I dropped something off with them was January 17th of this year, 2020, and I got those back about 2 weeks ago. So that one I got back in mid-May, so you were looking at about 4 months. They were shut down for a couple of weeks because of COVID, but I mean, at that point it had already been 2.5 or 3 months without getting my cards back. So it does really vary. You're kind of at their mercy, unfortunately, unless you pay for the higher grading services, which are like 5-day, 10-day, but they're double or triple the cost of regular economy grading. It's really a crapshoot, to be honest. I would say once you send it out to those companies, just kind of forget about it, and you'll have a nice surprise in the mail. And 30 to 120 days is really the way I see it.
Yeah, I was talking with a guy on Mercari the other day because he has a whole bunch of listings of GMA cards, GMA graded 10s and 9s, and I was like, dude, why do you grade all of your cards with GMA and not with any of like the higher end? He's like, well, I get these back in like a week, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on like those type of grading companies, like the lower end ones? Do you think those are worth sending cards into, or would you send only like maybe lower end cards? Or
yeah, I mean, again, I'd say that's definitely subjective. Me personally, I wouldn't probably. The only reason I'd maybe even consider doing that is almost like as a test for the bigger guys, for Beckett or PSA. If you're like maybe not sure what your card's going to grade, you could send it out to those companies. If you get their perfect grade, the thing is with a company like that, unless things change like they have recently with SGC, it's just not going to raise the value of your card enough for it to be worth it, in my opinion. I'd rather send that card out to Beckett or PSA, where you know, my card is going to go up 2 or 3 or 400% for getting the perfect grade, unlike a company like that where it might be like 10, 20, 50%. Like, I just don't see the value. However, if maybe you're unsure of certain cards, you know, they are a grading company, I'm sure they do their due diligence. You could send it out to them, get it back quickly, and then if you get their perfect grade, there's a way, you know, you'd have to look it up online. It's maybe not recommended for newer collectors, but you can crack it out of the case with like a screwdriver or something. And then, you know that card graded well with GSA or whatever company, then you send it out to Beckett or PSA, kind of as like a taste tester almost to, you know, to see whether that card would get a great grade by a grading company. But me personally, I probably wouldn't even do that, to be honest. But I feel like that's the only reason I would use a company along those lines, personally. Each their own, yeah.
Nikki wants to know, how can you tell if a card is a super short print?
So there are a few ways of that. Sometimes it'll be like on the pack or box. You'll be able to see, it'll say like, look for, like, I think on Mosaic, if I'm not mistaken, maybe not on that box, but it says on some different products, some different places, it'll say like, look for the super short printed. For Mosaic, it's called Genesis. It does say on the boxes, like, look for orange fluorescent, which is numbered to 25. So that's one way. If you just look at the packs or boxes. The other way is there are a few like websites you can go on. I believe one is Group Breaks Checklists or Group Breaks Checklists. That's one. The other one that I use, I'm going to just double check I'm getting this verbiage right for you. I believe it's Sports Card Collections. Double checking for you guys.
Yeah, the main thing for me, like for grading purposes, like if you get what you pay for in a way, you know what I mean? If you're going with a cheaper company, you know what I mean? You're not going to get that top dollar that you know that you want and you're hoping to get. And you got to think of the collector. If a collector has a Babe Ruth card that's PSA, and then another company that you just randomly found on eBay, it might be half the price just because of the grade. Because PSA is like the holy grail company. Beckett is very good as well. I mean, they've been in the card game since I can only remember. But like opinion, personally, kind of I would go
PlayStation and Xbox right now. You know what I mean? Like, which one do you prefer?
100%.
They're both really good, but you know what I mean? Like, some people might be like, well, I've been with PlayStation longer or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
So that website, by the way, is cardboardconnection.com. They are phenomenal. If you're trying to learn about the industry, I highly recommend them. You can see all of the checklists for all the products that are out. And then when you click on the checklist, they write more info on it as well. And like, they'll tell you what's super short printed. You could also see what cards are on the checklist for what teams. So if you're thinking of buying into a group break, if you're thinking of buying the Portland Trailblazers, you're not sure if Damian Lillard has an autograph in that set, you go on their site and you can see the entire checklist on their site. And you can see, you can even, you can search for Damian Lillard and you'll see all of his cards in the checklist. So that's where I personally go, is Sports Card Connection. And you'll be able to find anything that's super short printed. All the info you need is going to be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the places I looked whenever we started doing breaks. Well, at least I started doing breaks, and me and Anthony were talking. I'm like, man, it seems like some of these teams don't have any cards in there.
Yep.
And then I looked, and I'm like, man, there's one team that has 8. Then you have another one that has 15.
Yep.
So there's a great difference when you're buying these teams, but also the teams that are going for the high dollar are the ones that have the best rookies or a lot of rookies.
Exactly.
Like Pelicans and the Grizz, of course, and then Atlanta, and then the Suns, and so on and so forth. But then you also have teams with like the Lakers who have LeBron and AD, and so
it's just, to me, it's a way of like measuring quality versus quantity. So you can you can type in Pelicans and you'll see all of the cards they have for them. So obviously you'll have Zion, but then you'll see they have another rookie in Nico O'Malley. They have another guy, Nikhil Alexander-Walker. They have all the veterans. So you'll be able to see even like, oh, they have like in this entire set of, let's say, if you include autographs, all the inserts, if there's maybe 1,000 cards in the set, 65 of them are Pelicans. So you're looking at, like 12 or 13% of the entire set of Pelicans cards. So something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone in the chat, if you've ever participated in one of these, but it is exhilarating. It really is. Like, it's addicting. Like, I really think it is. Like, me and Nate, like, literally, like, every single night, like, we're texting, okay, what team you going for? So that way we're not bidding each other up or whatnot, So it's been a blast, and the nice thing is, like, I like watching these type of videos anyway, just like when somebody's opening up the card so I can see what's in the set. Mm-hmm. But this makes a card opening video feel like fantasy football. Because it's like, okay, now I'm rooting, like, instead of rooting for, like, Zions and Ja Morant's to come out, now I'm like, all right, can I get a Sekou Demboya? Can I get a Damian Lillard? Like, who, you know what I mean? Like, I'm rooting for players that normally I wouldn't really be rooting for. Like, I'd be, like, cool getting, but, like, they're not, like, my player, So it makes it like you're part of the break, you know what I
mean? Exactly. And, I mean, I see it also, I see it as entertainment, Unfortunately, right now, there's no sports on TV. So, I've definitely been seeing, like, me personally, and I'm sure a lot of other people who do group breaks can tell you, there's been a lot of new people joining breaks. It's a community of people who like sports. If we're doing basketball cards, it's going to be basketball fans. If we're doing baseball cards, it's going to be baseball fans. And, there's people talking on the chat on YouTube, like how you're saying, you're rooting for Sekou. You might be talking in the chat, hoping for a Sekou card, and all of a sudden we hit a big Sekou card, and now everyone in the chat is congratulating you. They're all happy. It's just a fun community thing. So I think it kind of checks off a lot of boxes that people like. It has the exhilaration thing. It has, almost like that fantasy football or being in a casino feel. But it also has the sports thing and the nostalgia of getting these cards. It's a tangible item that you get. Is kind of the way that I see it, because a lot of people might refer to it as gambling in a way because you're buying something and you don't know what you're going to get. So that is valid, but at the end of the day, you do have a tangible item, which, if you're playing blackjack or roulette, you may not have. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Philly Picker said these are addicting. My first break was last week with Picksburgh and 718 breaks. I bought the 76ers. Yeah, you did pretty good from what I remember.
I think you did. I remember that.
Shane said, do you ever do random team breaks?
I have not yet. So I sell right now. I only do breaks on eBay. So all of my stuff can be found in my eBay store.
Yep. And the link is scrolling on the screen, guys. So if you want to check out and participate in his breaks, all you need to do is go to his eBay store. All of the teams are set up there. He does only break several days of the week, so I'm sure he can kind of let you guys know what his schedule is as he.
So right now we're doing Sunday through Wednesday most weeks. We're actually going to start doing. We've only been doing evening breaks. We're going to start doing afternoons as well. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, the 7th. We're actually going to be doing our first afternoon breaks as well. So we're trying to, our breaks have been flying. People are buying the teams. So we're trying to add breaks so that more people can join. So it's a good time to be on your show as well. If we have some new people that want to join the breaks, we're going to add some more. We're going to be doing Sunday afternoons now, but normally we're on anywhere between 8:30 Eastern till about 1 a.m. Eastern, Sunday through Wednesday. But we're adding to that, and we're doing some afternoon stuff. We got a few new products coming in as well. We've been doing a lot of Mosaic basketball. We have the hottest product, which just came out, 2020 Bowman Baseball. I just opened a case for myself personally, and I have a case coming in today, actually, that will be breaking on Monday and Wednesday night of next week.
Are you going to did you film yourself breaking that case? Or
one box, the first box I filmed myself. It's kind of like it's a personal thing. Sometimes I like being on camera to break, but I'm a nerd, man. When I open it for myself, I'm taking 5 minutes to open each pack. I'm scrolling down the card real slow. Who's it going to be? I don't think anyone wants to see that live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I filmed myself opening the first box. It's on my channel. I think it's called 2020 Bowman Personal Break. It's one of the last videos I did. It was actually, I've opened 10 of the 12 boxes so far. It was the worst of the 10 boxes, unfortunately. So I apologize in advance for the not incredible content, but I've done better with the rest of the case, thankfully.
So what players or teams do you like to PC?
Trae Young was my first guy. I got back into collecting pretty heavily last year around this time in basketball. So the two big rookies were Luka Doncic and Trae Young last year. And I was opening a lot of stuff for myself, and I just couldn't pull Luka for the life of me. It just wasn't happening. And I kept pulling that Trae guy. And like, he was a very polarizing figure early on last season. Like, I think he started out very slow.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like him. Some people liked him, but a lot of people, like, he shot a lot. They thought he was a basketball or a chucker. So there were a lot of people who weren't fans of his, but it's like that nostalgia thing I was saying. When you pull cards, I kind of grew to like him just because I kept pulling his cards. And then he had a couple of good games. And then I started seeking out his cards. I was buying into breaks, buying the Hawks.
Yeah.
I was buying Trae Young cards on eBay, so on and so forth. And then he kind of blew up a little bit. Like, I'd say probably all the Trae Young cards I own at this point, I bought them for a third or a quarter of what they sell for currently. And he's the guy I'm most heavily invested in. So it turned out to be a really good investment as well. You never know what's going to happen. Hopefully he keeps it up. Hopefully stuff keeps rising. I also didn't sell anything because there are different segments of people in the hobby. At least for Trae Young, I would call myself a player collector. So a lot of people don't even buy to sell. Like, they just collect that player. They hold on to it maybe 1 year down the line, and a couple of years, one day, if they're worth astronomical amounts, maybe I would liquidate some of my collection. But like, I like having his cards. So yeah, I collect a lot of Trae. He's my main guy, and it's worked out very well for me. Even though, again, I haven't sold anything, so in theory, financially, it's worked out well for me. But obviously, if you don't sell the cards, you're not getting the money. So it's almost like having a bank note right now telling me I have that much money, but you never know what can happen in sports cards. Luka Doncic would probably be the second guy. He was the other big rookie from that year. The more and more I bought, I started getting lucky. I started getting a couple of his cards, and then I bought a lot on eBay because I couldn't pull him out of packs. Yeah. So those are my main two guys. I'm also a very big New York Mets fan. Personally, that's my team. So I own a solid amount of Mets players cards: Pete Alonso, Jacob deGrom, David Wright, people like that. Those are never leaving my collection. I don't sell, Mets stuff for the most part. I've probably sold a couple cards here and there, but pretty much won't sell those guys as well. So those are like the main ones that I collect. Yeah, Mets, and then those two guys from the NBA.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm starting on LeBron. I've heard he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, he's not too shabby.
Yeah.
He's done some good things for my favorite team. So yeah, I got respect for LeBron.
I understand that.
Christian wants to know: do you try to get any NASCAR cards?
I have not. To be honest, there's definitely a segment. I'm sure there are breakers who break NASCAR. I personally just don't watch NASCAR, so I don't know a lot about it. And I don't want to break products that I just don't know about and I'm not passionate about. I think it'll lower the quality of my content.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So like, I don't break hockey at this point. I'm a little bit of a hockey fan. I know a little bit, but just not near the stratosphere of baseball, basketball, and football. So I don't want to be one of those breakers that, we were talking about a little before we were on camera, who's kind of just opening something and doesn't know what they're opening. I want to know the product. I want to be passionate about it when I speak. I want to be able to talk with my chat and let them know what they got. And unfortunately, right now for NASCAR, that wouldn't be me.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Glass City? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here. I also want to say hi to Buffalo Picker, who's in the house. Appreciate you guys both joining. You guys are awesome. You guys are into Amazon content or just really good reselling content, check out both those guys, Buffalo Picker and Glass City Pickers. Appreciate y'all being here. They're big time Steeler fans as well down there in Georgia. I appreciate it.
And then back to, I know somebody asked about random teams before. I think I went off on a little tangent, but I haven't done them yet because everything I sell is on eBay. So I do it by team. Random teams may not be too conducive to eBay just based on the way everything is structured. So like my auctions, if you look at my page, you'll see like if we're breaking Mosaic, which is a product we'll be looking at shortly, you'll see Atlanta Hawks for a Mosaic break. You'll see Dallas Mavericks. You'll see all the teams. Whereas if it was random teams, I just have to type in random teams 30 times. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen many breakers on eBay do it. I don't know that it works as well. For people who are breaking off of eBay, though, absolutely. Like you can do random teams. Yeah. Like if in the future, I may just use my YouTube channel as a platform to just solely, go on YouTube, have people join. And when I have enough people, we'll do a break. And yeah, I can do random teams. You just take the cost of the product, you divide it by 30. You split it up, and then once you sell all your spots, you go on a site called random.org. You type in everyone's name, you type in all the teams, you randomize it, and whatever team your name goes by, that'll be the team you get. So that's what a random break is. And again, because I'm selling on eBay right now, I haven't been doing that, but potentially in the future, we might be doing random team breaks.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The nice thing too is once you actually get over that 1,000 threshold for your channel, then YouTube can become a revenue source for you as well.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be really awesome to add as well. And I'd really appreciate everybody that's here today. If you would go and subscribe to Kevin, just to help him get there. He's so close to that 1K right now. I believe he's in the 800s. So if we could help bump him up I'd really appreciate that. Like I said, he does really good content. Me and Nate are there pretty much every time he goes live. So come hang out with us.
It's getting there. But we're going to be doing a big giveaway for our 1K as well. It's going to be completely free to enter. And we're going to be giving away some free cards. So it's going to be to our YouTube subscribers. So definitely make sure if you do subscribe to be checking out our videos from time to time, because we're probably a couple weeks away from being at 1K. And once we get there, it's going to be a big giveaway. And like I said, completely free to enter. So yeah.
I'll give a shout out to Alex, Fatman the Flipper. I appreciate you being here, Alex. And thank you for letting us be a part of the auction last night. We had a member of our community, her son passed away. And Alex and Jordan and Oscar, the bad boys of reselling, they put together a auction to raise money for her. So I was honored to be a part of that. So big props to you guys, and thanks for being pillars of the community. So how exactly does this work from a business standpoint, from being a card breaker? Selling it on eBay. How do you get started? How do you know that, like, when you put these teams out there, that people are going to actually bid on them? Like, how did that process go when you first got started?
You don't. It's just, you got to have faith in the system that, people are going to want these teams. There's other people doing this on eBay. So people do look at eBay comps. So, you got to hope, even if you're an unknown, that if you put up a team, it's going to sell. Like, people are going to see it if you type in the right keywords and whatnot. It's a leap of faith. Honestly, the first break that I did, I think I briefly mentioned, it was last year's select basketball. I lost money on the break, but I gained experience. So, I had to, these breaks, they're not super easy. I'm not going to lie. Like, I enjoy it and I'm passionate about it. So when when you enjoy something, you're passionate about it, working doesn't feel like work. But, you're on YouTube for 30 minutes to an hour. You're, talking back and forth with a lot of people on eBay. Unfortunately, you get some people who maybe don't want to pay, don't know what they're doing, don't understand the description. Their dog bid on the team for them, their daughter did, whatever it is. So you deal with a lot of different things. And then at the end of the day, you also have to sort out all the cards. Like, there's a lot of work involved. So, my first break that I did, I worked for maybe 3 or 4 hours on it. I did a lot. I was super nervous. I ended up losing money on the break. The Dallas Mavericks were the most expensive team because that was last year. That was Luka's year. So the guy who got the Mavericks was messaging me. He wasn't too happy. He didn't do too well. Just, little things like that. And now looking back on it, funny enough, I watched that break not too long ago, just to see where I've progressed. And the guy for the Dallas Mavericks at that time, I think he had spent maybe $150 on his spot. Looking back on it now, the cards that I pulled for him are probably worth about $1,600. So at that time, though, what I got for him maybe was worth $80 or $90. So he wasn't too happy. So hopefully he held on to those cards, because as it turns out, I actually did really well for him.
Yeah.
But it was kind of just having trust in the process, that if you keep plugging away, you keep doing, you do things the right way, even as a small breaker, like I think at some point I opened a pretty expensive product, which is actually coming out in the next week, which is going to be astronomically expensive at this point. But I opened something called National Treasures Basketball very early on into my breaking, and I got a card that's, right out of the pack is worth $5,000. And, if you're a newer breaker, that might be, I wasn't really making money. I was losing money at the time. Probably that little devil on your shoulder is like, I can just shut up shop, keep this $5,000 card. But
yeah,
you don't do it. You have to have integrity. You ship people what they deserve, no matter what, even if you're losing money, even if you plan on stopping tomorrow. And if you keep doing that, if you have a process, you keep doing the right thing, I think people will catch on. They'll see your breaks, you'll become trusted, and that's kind of how you grow.
Definitely. Yeah, and I would definitely say you're 100% trustworthy as far as the breaker goes. Like, I've only been dealing with you for a few weeks now, but I've been 100% satisfied with everything. And that's the thing. When you buy into a break, you buy in, it's like a lottery ticket. You don't know what's going to be in the packs.
Yeah.
So you could get great break, you know what I mean? Like, or you could be like that guy that had the Luka Doncic that is upset because he didn't get what he thought he was going to get, and he feels like he didn't get proper value. But then, boom, next thing you know, it's like you have like great value. So it's one of those things, you it's the luck of the draw. You get what's in the packs.
Exactly, and you never in what we're opening today, like the best card you can get, it can be a 5-figure card. It can be a $10,000 card. So you definitely want to break with someone trustworthy. That's why we're always live when we're doing breaks. Like, it can't be recorded. Like, you need to see that person open the pack live.
Yeah.
And I recommend, if you're going to buy into breaks, definitely have it be someone who's more respected in the industry. There, sometimes there'll be people who kind of just, buy a couple boxes of cards, decide I'm going to do a break. And then if it were me as the buyer, I'd be thinking, what if I do hit that $10,000 card? Am I actually going to see it? Like, there are, the darker, I guess it'd be like the darker side of breaking. There have definitely been situations where somebody's hit a big card and they didn't ship, or, they try to do something shady off a camera. There's like a famous thing that became a famous thread in the breaking community. It's called Brandon Cooks to 99. Some breaker a couple of years ago hit some card, and like he kind of did something weird. Like, if you watch the video, you could see, you don't know exactly what he's doing, but like he's doing something. And he had just hit a Brandon Cooks as an NFL player. He had a Brandon Cooks card numbered to 99. And he kind of just repeated that like 3 or 4 times while he's like shuffling something off camera. And like, he's taking like 30 or 60 seconds before he shows the next card. And then he kind of just pulls a card from off camera and was like, sorry, I was answering an email real quick. So like, the guy was doing something off camera. Like, he saw a card that he just decided, like, I'm willing to ruin my reputation over this card. And he swapped it out, and, people saw what he did. And it's become legendary, though, in the breaking community. Like, if you say Brandon Cooks to 99, like, a lot of people in the know will just die laughing, because he must have repeated himself on that one meaningless card about 5 times, because his mind was somewhere else trying to figure out how to scam someone. But so you got to be careful buying into breaks, because if you don't buy into someone reputable, you never know. You could hit that monster card and they could decide, you know what, I don't know what this breaking thing's going to do. I just started. Let me just keep this, card, So that's, one of the things you got to be careful for with this as a buyer.
Yep. And just for anybody, because I had a few people ask in the chat, how do you get into the giveaway? If you want to gain extra entries, all you need to do is, comment on any one of my videos or any one of Nate's videos, or you can go over and subscribe to 718 Breaks. And all of that counts as points. And basically the way it goes is you could have 50 points, you could have 1 point, and it's going to be an auto-generated thing. The more points you have, the greater chance you have at getting better things. So kind of the way it's going to work. But yeah, that's awesome, man. So have you found it to be a good way to generate money on eBay as far as selling the teams? Like, because I know that you also offer people personals on your as well. Like after the group breaks, if you have extra product, like say you'll offer people, you know, mega boxes or blasters or whatever. Do you find that you make more money doing the team breaks the way you do it on eBay, or do you make more money just selling people personals and stuff like that?
It really depends on the product, to be honest. Like on some products, I'll do better with group breaks on eBay, and then on others, I would do better with personals. It's really, eBay is kind of just like, because it's a marketplace and because it's auctions, it's swingy. There's no, there's no guarantee on, what you're going to sell a team at, what you're going to make it at, like the highest priced team, on different breaks I've done for the same exact product, like, if I did a break on, May 20th and May 27th, that same team, same product, same exact thing, that same team could have sold for $150 one day and $300 the next. It's just because it's auctions, it's kind of out of your control. Whereas if you're not doing things on eBay, if you're not doing an auction, you're setting the price. It's not an auction. You set the price, so you can build in whatever profit margin you need to survive. So it really varies, to be honest. Like I think most breakers would probably tell you, ideally, the long-term goal is to not be breaking on eBay. Obviously, as I'm sure a lot of people who do reselling here know, you do lose. I think it's like 9 or 10% of everything you sell on eBay, and then PayPal takes, I think, 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. So you're looking at losing roughly 12% on every transaction you do on eBay. So if you do have the following, on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're doing your breaks, to kind of cut out those people, it might be a little better. But for now, I mean, you do have, we have access to so many buyers, so many different people who I wouldn't have met otherwise on eBay. So, I mean, it's been a useful platform, and I guess they're earning their 12 or 13% at this point, Well, they're getting 9 or 10, PayPal's getting 3, but yeah, they're earning what they're taking.
Would you say that your YouTube channel has grown from eBay?
Yeah, definitely.
Vice versa?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. It's eBay's definitely helped. I've done, some other things with social media and whatnot. But eBay's definitely helped my YouTube channel, and vice versa as well. I will, I've gotten better about this. The more I've done, the more experience I've gotten. But like from time to time, I'll mention my eBay, or somebody will find me on YouTube and ask, how can I buy into breaks? And I'll post my eBay link.
That's how I found you. I was searching through, breaks, because I've been obsessed with Mosaic since it came out, and
a lot of people, not just you.
you can't find it anywhere. So I'm just looking through all the videos on YouTube of Mosaic and stuff like that, and that's how I stumbled across you, and ended up finding your YouTube channel just by you dropping it in chat.
Yep.
Or I mean, not your channel, but your eBay.
Yep. Yeah. So it's kind of like a cohesive system. The two help each other out.
It's awesome. Hey, good morning, Georgina. Appreciate you being here. Dave would like to know, do you have a Facebook page?
I do. It's just 718 Breaks on Facebook.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dave.
I don't know if I connected to you on there, but I will after the show. No, I have you on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions for Kevin before we get into the break and you guys can actually see like the magic he does? Hey, Jonathan. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. He said, oh, snap, K-Dog.
My buddy Jonathan. What's up, JT? Anyone?
Jonathan says, how do you get your product? I don't know if that's something that you like to share. I know sometimes, like with people that sell on Amazon, they don't like to share where they get their product or how they get their product, but if you
Yeah. So I work with a couple of distributors. I try to get as much as I can through them. It's very hit or miss right now. It's an extremely hot industry, so it's really tough to get product, at like wholesale. For the most part, I buy on the secondary market. I just, I'm searching through all different pages, all different people. I have a few contacts that I've made who do a lot of stuff on the secondary market. They're resellers for sealed product, and I'll reach out to them. They'll reach out to me, and I try to get it at the best cost that I can. I'm not, like a lot of like local card shops or, bigger breakers who have like massive allocations will get the product for half of what I pay for it. So like their profit margins will be a lot higher. So I'm working with a little less of a margin, but it's enough to do business, and I enjoy what I do. So I'm continuing to do it. But yeah, most of what I buy is off the secondary market, to be honest.
Buffalo Picker's asking, does Ken Griffey rookies have any value?
They do. They've actually spiked up incredibly in the last 3 or 4 months. The thing that really was a big boom to the sports card market was the Last Dance documentary, which aired on ESPN. It was on Sunday nights up until I think last Sunday. So that really spiked like 90s Bulls cards, even 90s other players cards for basketball. And now they're doing the next one is going to be Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, the famous home run race of 1998. It's going to be on ESPN. So baseball cards now from the 90s have spiked. And Ken Griffey Jr.'s cards specifically have spiked a lot. If I'm not mistaken, I think a few influencers have talked about Ken Griffey Jr. cards, thinking they're undervalued. So especially his Upper Deck card. It's one of the card companies that they're licensed for hockey right now. They don't do any licensed baseball, basketball, or football, but they do have the license for hockey. They've been around since 1989 was their first year, and their first ever card, number 1 on the checklist, is Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie card. So it's an iconic card. It's an iconic picture. And those have probably spiked, at least in a graded. I'm not sure about raw, but graded PSA 10, I think those have gone up a couple 100% in the last 3 months. And he's retired. He's been retired. Nothing has happened to make that card spike other than interest and demand. So that just shows you the kind of industry we're in, the buzz that it has. A product has went up multiple hundreds of percent based on not performance, nothing. It's just, we're in a very hot industry right now, and nostalgia is a real thing. And people are trying to get those Ken Griffey Jr. rookies and watching these documentaries and thinking it's going to spike prices.
For sure.
Big thing about the older cards is, like we talked about earlier, getting them graded, having them in good condition. Like Alex had a card in his auction last night that if it's an 8 or 9 or even possibly a Gem Mint 10, which is very hard for the older cards because of how they were back then. I seen one sell for $900 that went in that lot from Pirates. So, yeah, I mean, like, you definitely want to check out condition and see what they're, what they are. But main thing is you got to get them graded to get them really, where you want to get them.
Yeah, that really, adds big value. I'm looking up for Buffalo Picker. It looks like they're selling between like $50 and $75 raw, ungraded, the Griffies. But if you think it looks in good condition, you might want to, do what we were talking about before. Take a look at the cards, see if it's worth grading. If you got a bunch of them, if you send out, let's say 4, if one of them gets, PSA 9 or PSA 10 or BGS 9.5, that might pay for all 4 getting them graded, if not more. So if you think they look good, maybe consider sending them out.
Paul wants to know, how often do you go through your PC personal collection and sell something?
Not too often, honestly. It really varies. It'll just depend on my mood. Like the breaking does, take up a lot of my time. So I often don't necessarily find the time to do that. So like if it's a week where maybe I'm breaking a little less or have less product or, whatever the case may be, I might, take a look at what I have and be like, oh, this card is spiked up, and that. Like I'm a big card collector though. Like a lot of people, are in it more for selling and reselling. Like I genuinely like looking at my cards. Like it's something that some people have, some people don't. I genuinely like looking at them. I like owning the cards. So like for me, it's not all about selling. I will sell things here and there for sure, but a lot of the time, like I won't like in Bowman that I just opened a lot of 2020 Bowman, and like it's probably never going to be hotter. A big thing to know also if you're getting into this is cards tend to, right after they get released, like a couple days after release date, they're going to be selling for higher than they will, in a week or two when the market has kind of stabilized on it. The long term, they may go up again. They're like, you don't know what's going to happen. But if you plan on selling in the near term after you opened a new product, I would get it listed and up immediately, because the sooner you get it up, the more you're going to get. The more products being opened, it kind of floods the market a little bit. But if you potentially, you're not sure, you might hold, like it may go up after a month or 2 or 3 months or a year, whatever it is. But like the 2020 Bowman I just opened, like if I were going to sell anything, now is the time, because it just came out last week. So these cards are all very hot. Normally I wouldn't, but I happen to hit like doubles of a lot of guys. So like I might, from those doubles, maybe to recoup a little bit of what I spent on the case, I might sell a couple of those doubles, something like that. So for the most part, though, I don't really dip into my personal stuff unless I maybe have doubles, or like I just think like a card has gone crazy and like it's never going to have that much value again. And like, if anything, like I can buy one again later for like half the price. But I do genuinely enjoy collecting cards, so I don't always sell what I have, and I don't dip into my stuff too often, honestly.
So one last question, and then we'll kind of get into the break. Jonathan wants to know, what are your personal favorite rookie cards and any up-and-comers you would advise us to look out for?
Absolutely. So personal favorite rookie cards, I showed one of them, that Luka that I have behind me, select rookie card graded a 10. I also picked up a Luka Doncic. It's the biggest set in basketball, at least the last few years, is called Prism. That's the one that really everyone chases, at least for somewhat affordable cards. There's something called National Treasures, which is being released in, I think, 6 days, and they're going to be selling for probably $10,000 to $15,000 per box, and it's 10 cards per box. So I wouldn't necessarily consider that affordable, but Prism has at least been somewhat affordable, and it's a little more mainstream. So in Prism, you're looking for their Prism Silvers. It's just it's like a refractor. You're familiar. It's just a somewhat short printed card that's a little shinier than the rest, and that's kind of like the creme de la creme for rookie cards. So I have, I think, 3 or 4 Trae Young Prism Silver rookie cards. I got them all graded. I think one of them got a 10. I have a couple of 9s. I pulled at least 1 or 2 of those myself, and I bought 1 or 2 online. Whereas Luka, I couldn't get him no matter what I did. I opened a lot of Prism last year. I have most of the guys I pulled at least 1 or 2. Some guys I pulled 4 or 5 Prism Silvers for, and Luka, I just couldn't do it no matter what I would do. And it took me a while. His prices were really high for a while. I waited for a little dip in his prices after an injury he had earlier this year, and I finally picked one up. So I have a Prism Silver rookie card of Luka, which I'm very happy to own. I recently bought a LeBron James Topps Chrome rookie card. That's something I've been looking to buy for a long time. They've went up 200 or 300% in just the last couple of months. I finally picked one of those up about a month ago or so. So those are definitely up there for me in terms of like the cards that like I like to look at the most, rookie cards that I own.
Yeah, that's awesome. That LeBron is definitely on my bucket list of cards.
Yeah, you're gonna want to search that one. It's I think it's gone up. It went up like 200 or 300% before I bought mine, and since then it's went up like another 100%. So you got to try to get in on a good deal if you're gonna pick one up.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. Plus, I don't really have the extra money to drop on it right now.
Yeah.
What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sell off some of my PC to get it.
Yep.
Stuff that I'm not as vested in.
Yep, exactly. That's something that a lot of card collectors will do. If you have your eye, like that might be a reason I would potentially sell some stuff, is like if there's a card that comes out that I really want, but I maybe don't have the funds or I don't want to lay out the funds, then I'll, if the card's maybe a $500 card, I'll find, my cards, what I think is, I can sell for about 500, and I'll just, I'll take it, I'll sell all those, and then I'll invest in that next card. I know the second part of that question, though, was guys that I'd maybe recommend. I believe it was Buffalo who mentioned he'd been getting a lot of Kyle Guy and Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is a guy I was investing pretty heavily in. I think he has a very bright future.
I agree.
Yeah, again, this is all subjective, so don't hate me if you buy his stuff and he doesn't become a superstar. It's, we don't know for sure. But he's a guy that was drafted pretty high. I see potential in him. He was early on in his career. He couldn't shoot his way out of the barn. So that was keeping his values kind of low. And then he started picking it up. Like, I see a progression in his game, which is what I like. Those are the guys who I try to invest in, who maybe didn't come out of the gate too hot, like Trae Young last year, where all of a sudden you see them kind of growing and they're getting comfortable. Like, you have to remember, a lot of these guys are 18, 19, 20 years old. They're babies.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it is confidence and learning how to play in the NBA. Like Luka Doncic, that's why his cards sell for so much. He's only 20. I think he just turned 20. And he's arguably one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, he might not be in his prime yet. Like, you're waiting, what is he going to do when he's 25 or 30? He's going to get only better. So these guys who are 19 or 20, who maybe, aren't lighting the world on fire right now, but they're showing you a little something, that's what I go for personally. So Cam Reddish is one of those guys. I was investing in Kobe White for a little while. He has now become like the third guy after Zion. Zion's been number 1 this year, all the way. John Morant has been number 2. Kobe White has now separated himself as third from the pack. That was not the case, though, a couple of months ago. He went on a really nice hot streak of just lighting the NBA on fire. So during that hot streak, he could have picked up his stuff at, maybe half of what it's selling for now. It's kind of trying to be first on the boat if you're really trying to get good deals. Like, see something in a guy, believe what you're seeing and then act and snatch it up. So yeah, Cam is a guy whose stuff has been increasing, but I like him. Kobe White is already now selling for a lot. His stuff has already exploded, but there still might be some meat on the bone. One of my personal favorites that I don't share too often, I don't know quite as much about him. He's a lot lower on the totem pole now, but I like a guy named Keldon Johnson on the Spurs. I see some potential for him as somebody who's really selling really low. The other guys, if you're trying to buy their Prism base rookies, you're probably looking at, for Kobe White, I think they're probably between $12 and $20 a piece now. Cam Reddish is probably anywhere from like $7 to $12. A guy like Keldon Johnson, you can probably pick up his Prism rookies for $1 a piece right now. So I see a little potential in him. He's one of the guys who I've been picking up on the low. But he's, he'll be more risky though, because he hasn't played much in the NBA. He hasn't shown as much star potential as those two guys yet, but that's why his cards are $1 and theirs are $15.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been picking up John Morant's for $20 a pop.
Oh yeah.
I've been sneaking those bases and getting them in auctions lately.
Yeah, that's a nice little sneak right there. Yeah.
Carolina Hustlin is actually just asking for a rookie card buyer. Where should he look for them as far as like the new ones? And like I would say like definitely eBay. Look for auctions going off. That's a really cheap way to get them. You can do best offers to people. I always send best offers a lot of times on cards because sometimes people will mark them up a little bit. So I'll send them like a little more of a fair price. And breaks, like honestly, like breaking with Kevin, I have a stack here of cards that like you know what I mean, I would not have these if it wasn't breaking with him, you know what I mean? So it's a good way to really get a lot of rookies on the cheap, without having to actually go and buy the packs, because for Mosaic, like most of you guys know, it's impossible to find in stores. And if you're buying it on the secondary market, it's going to be super, super expensive. So that's a good way to get it on the cheap if you can't find it in the store.
You mean these are rare?
Yeah, those right there.
By the way, I'm opening mine tomorrow afternoon, probably about either 11 or 12.
Good luck, bud. Are you doing it on your channel? Or?
Right there, Nate?
Yeah, we'll be doing it on my channel.
Good luck.
I couldn't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking at these cards every like 5 minutes. And I'm like, I know there's a Zion in there. I already got one.
I just filmed a pre-recorded. I was like, I can't wait. I need to get in there.
Love it.
Yeah, I got one already. I got one of his base, and out of I bought 2 blasters off of a viewer gave me a decent deal on them for what they're going for. I got them for 50 a piece, and I pulled the Zions. That basically paid for majority of what.
Yeah. The Zion card will pretty much pay for the whole box. Yeah, at this point. Yeah. There he is.
I got this guy.
Very nice. Very nice.
So Billy Picker says, do you have to worry about counterfeit cards at all?
Not too much with the newer stuff. The older stuff, definitely. Like, if I'm not mistaken, the 86, 87 Jordan Fleer rookie card is like the most counterfeited card of all time. So like something like that. You have to, like, the technology, I think, has gotten better. It's harder to reproduce these cards. So, like, there's maybe a little bit of it. Like, I don't even know too much, but like, it's not even a thought that crosses my mind. So yeah, for the most part, you don't have to worry. The only place you'd have to worry about them is once in a while I'll get on the breaks. Like I was talking, you never know who's going to buy on eBay. Mm-hmm. So I think you'll get like different excuses from buyers who don't want to pay or who sent it back or who they'll file a claim from eBay. Like, because unfortunately, when you buy into breaks, you're not always going to be happy with what you got. Like, you can buy the Pelican spot and you may not get a Zion card. Mm-hmm. That's the most expensive team. And if you don't get anything, unfortunately, a lot of time eBay sides with the buyer, no matter what the situation is, even though like I'm stating clearly what we're doing and that it's a chance thing, like you may or may not do well. So like sometimes I'll get returns from people, and like one of the ones that I remember most that I can laugh at it, that I just find it hilarious. Like somebody, like, you have to give a reason on eBay, like why you returned it. So somebody just took a picture of the card and literally said, it doesn't seem authentic, and sent it back to me. And like, it's literally a Daubers optic card printed by Panini. Like, like eBay took the return too. And I'm like, okay. Like you have to have a sense of humor about the thing, because if you don't, you'll drive yourself crazy. But yeah, for the most part, like these cards just about can't be, I don't want to say they can't be counterfeited, but if they are, like, it won't look anything like what it's supposed to. It's very, very non-prevalent with modern cards. Older cards it is, though.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, would you like to show people the magic of what you do?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to show people the magic of what you do?
I would absolutely love to. Yes. You can just give me a second. I'm going to turn it over and get it set up.
Whatever you need to do. This is going to be epic, guys. This is what you get to actually see when you tune into his channel. This is where me and Nate will sit. We'll sit in a private StreamYard with this shared, and we're just like sitting there. We're sharing. Like, honestly, I want to get a pre-recorded video of Nate's reaction during the break, and you're actually going to get it right here. This is my favorite thing. Like, being able to watch the break with Nate and like hearing him react to stuff.
I don't have any skin in the game, so it's not going to be the same.
Oh yeah. No.
If I had the Suns or something and there's no Suns coming, I'm like, what the heck? Like, yesterday or the pool before, it's like all these Suns, and then I don't get them the one time. And
I know we had a rough time for you the other day with Dallas.
Yeah,
trying to hit some Luka.
I'm like, man, I got Dallas for cheap or cheapish, and I couldn't get like even
sometimes
just a base.
It's honestly all the luck. Like I have a bunch of friends through doing this. Sometimes honestly, it's just you get that feeling in your gut. It's just like, even if you don't get them on the cheap, you just have a feeling that's the night you're gonna hit a Luka. You snatch them up.
Dude, check it out, Nate. Look at Rev's Instagram. He just hit another mother load on the cards.
Needs to share some love.
That's awesome. That card is full of Bowman mosaic. Look at all them sleeves. That's faith, Rev. Rev says I'm gonna pull all the Zions and all of the expensive cards. So he has like a whole corner of the cart that's nothing but like penny sleeves and stuff. My man, Rev.
That's awesome. So yeah, right here, what we have, I have a couple of cards that I've pulled in the background, just for a little show. That one all the way on the left is from 2020 Bowman. That's a gold refractor auto. So I pulled that. That's my personal card that I mentioned. I bought a case of Bowman. So I got that 2 days ago. Actually, he's one of the best guys in Bowman. So that's a pretty big card right there. And we're going to like I said, we're going to be breaking Bowman Monday and Wednesday night of this week. I have breaks up on eBay right now. Next to that, though, is LeBron from Mosaic. That is called a Mosaic. We are going to be breaking Mosaic right now. So that is a possible card we could get during this break. Then to the right, we have Zion Williamson, Orange Mosaic. That's another card we could potentially pull from this. And then Maluka that I have out there. But yeah, what we're going to be breaking, again, it's called Mosaic. They have a few different SKUs of it. So for retail, there's retail and hobby. Hobby boxes are incredibly expensive. I think they're selling at about $600 or $700 a box now on the resale market, whereas some of the stuff we're opening is a little lower cost. So it's just a lower cost way of getting into a break. The breaks that I have listed on eBay right now include all the products that we're going to be opening today. So we have 2 cello packs. That's these guys right there. We have a blaster box, which is going to contain 8 packs. And we have a hanger box, which will be 1 pack. But each of them have their own little cool things that you can get that you can't get in the other SKUs. So we're pretty much opening everything that I do in a break on eBay other than what's called a mega box. But yeah.
And before we get into that, how do we want to go about picking the teams for the giveaway, or how we're going to do that?
That is a good question. I am genuinely open. We could do, I was thinking maybe if you wanted to do something where we have people type in the chat and then I can go to random.org and randomize. Maybe we'll do like, let's say if we have 3 winners, 1 winner will get the contents of both cello packs.
Okay.
1 winner will get the contents of the blaster box.
Okay.
And 1 winner will get the contents of the hanger box. So if we like have everyone who's interested in joining for absolutely free, type in the chat, you know, say whatever they want to say to let us know they want to join, and then we'll randomize all those names.
Okay. Would it be easier to make it like an actual break, and because we have a list of people that have a bunch of points with us?
Yeah.
If we were going to do it that way, we could just, you know, give each and every person a team. I mean, it's up to you though. Whatever you think is best, or we can go with the 2 cello packs. And what do you think, Nate? Would you rather have 3 big winners?
It's up to,
because I'll help cover postage either way and whatever.
I mean, your call. I mean, I know I would need, like, my main thing is just needing addresses from everyone. I mean, I'm open though. Like if I like, I know logistically I can do it. So it's just we would need everyone's address. I don't know if you know you can like do the back and forth. If we do 3 winners, obviously, I only have to ship out to 3 people. Whereas we're going to do
let's do that, and then we'll randomize the 3 with all the points, and we'll announce who they are at the end. Do 3 generated ones. Is that cool with you, Nate?
Yeah, that's fine.
That way, it'll be like 3 people get like really like hooked up things.
Cool. So do you want to, while I'm doing the break or something, you want to take a list of everyone who's going to be in on the randomizer?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So let's get into it. So I think we'll do what I was saying. We're going to do the 2 cello packs will be for, I think just based on value, I would say we should do the 3rd place winner. We'll get the cellos. We obviously don't know what's going to come out of it, but I think the 3rd place winner should get whatever we get in the cellos. The 2nd place winner will get what we get in the hanger, and the 1st place will get the contents of the blaster. We ready, guys?
Yep.
All right, so let's do it. Good luck, everyone. The cards that you're about to see could be yours. So these cello packs, they are, you have 2 6-card packs, which you can see, which will have our regular base cards out of Mosaic. You can hit rookie cards, you can hit silver cards, you can hit numbered cards. There's a lot of different stuff. Inserts you can pull in here, and then you get 1 what's called a camo pack in every cello. So it's 3 packs, 2 regular looking packs, and 1 pink camo. So all of these cards will be a parallel in the pink camos. So let's see what we can do. We'll ship all the cards from this. So you have a Jeff Teague base card. There's Anthony Davis, good player on the Lakers right there. Base card. Larry Nance Jr., Cav right there.
Go Cavs.
Yeah. Victor Oladipo. And then we have an insert of Amari Stoudemire. That's an old school insert. It's got a cool little picture of him when he was on the Phoenix Suns. And last but not least, there's Anthony's guy.
Boom.
Sekou Doumbouya rookie card. That's a nice one right there.
That's awesome.
It's a good rookie card for the Pistons. All right, let's see what we got in the second pack. That's one of the best base cards you can get. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yep.
Right there. DJ Augustine. Robert Covington. And we have a parallel. This is called Green Mosaic. So this is a parallel. It's short printed compared to the rest of the cards. So that is Kyle Anderson. That's John Morant's teammate on the Memphis Grizzlies. Green Mosaic. And we have an insert. These are a very cool looking insert called Jam Masters. That's DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio Spur. And then you have an NBA debut of DeAndre Hunter. Behind that, rookie card for the Hawks. I believe he was the 4th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see our pink camo pack. So these are going to be all pink. These are all short printed compared to the rest of the set. So let's see what we can do. We have Eunice Valanciunas, Memphis Grizzly. He's Ja's teammate. Goran Dragic from the Heat. And a rookie card of Jackson Hayes for the New Orleans Pelicans. That is Zion Williamson's teammate right there, Jackson Hayes. Be playing alongside of him for a long time, hopefully. He's a center, and Zion plays power forward / center. So you may be seeing a lot of the two of them together. All right, let's see what we can get in our second cello. And again, this is all going to go to our lucky 3rd place winner. All the cards that we get out of our cellos. We have DeJounte Murray, Jabari Parker, Clint Capella, Nicholas Batum, and there's a green mosaic insert. That's a got game of Derrick Rose for the Pistons, the ex-Chicago Bull, ex-MVP right there. And that's a nice one. That's one of my guys who I forgot to mention as well. There we go. Go Cavs. Kevin Porter Jr. He's another guy I've been investing in who I think has a very bright future, who's kind of on the come up right now. So this is a nice rookie card right here. KPJ, as they call him. We have Devonte Graham, Marvin Bagley III, Goran Dragic. There's a green mosaic of Luka's teammate, Kristaps Porzingis, the unicorn. And we have a Jam Masters of Aaron Gordon, the should-be 2-time slam dunk winner champion who won it 0 times, unfortunately.
Right.
Poor AG. And there's a Hall of Famer for some of you older basketball collectors. How about Larry Bird? Boston Celtic great, Larry Legend.
That's awesome.
What's up, Westside Gary? Thank you for joining us. All right, let's see what we can do here in our pink camo pack. We have Andrew Wiggins, former Minnesota Timberwolf. So you'll see, just a thing to keep in mind, guys, in terms of group breaks, if you do buy in, it goes to the name of the team on the card, unless the breaker specifies. So Wiggins is now on the Warriors, but this card would go to the Minnesota Timberwolves because when the set was made, he was on the Timberwolves and he's in a Timberwolves jersey and it says Timberwolves right there. So keep that in mind if you ever buy into group breaks. Unless a breaker specifies differently, they're always going to ship it to the team on the card. And it will also be on that checklist. That's another reason to go to Sports Cardboard Connection for the checklist, because it'll say what team they're on the checklist. Because players do get traded and whatnot, but it's always going to go by what's on the card on the team. There's a Victor Oladipo, pink camo. And we have a rookie card, pink camo, for the Los Angeles Clippers, Terrence Mann on the pink camo to close out our cello packs. And I'm going to put all of that together for our lucky third place winner. And let's do our hanger. These guys are, this is one pack, so it's going to be a little quicker. You'll see it's a little different format. You can see you're guaranteed 4 hanger box exclusive reactive orange prisms. So in the cellos, where you're getting those pink camos, these ones have orange reactive. So the insert's going to be a little different, but still cool inserts that you're guaranteed. Then this is one pack, but it's 20 cards total. And in stores, as Nate and Anthony were saying, you can't really find it in stores, but in stores, these sell for about double what the cello packs sell for. Same on the secondary market as well, though. So let's see what we can do from our hanger box. We have Kevin Love, Cavs, Wes Matthews, Bertans, Daniel Tice, Derek Favors, Hassan Whiteside, Donovan Mitchell, Utah Jazz superstar. There's Stephen Curry. That's a good one. One of the superstars of the league, multi-time champion. And that's a good card right there.
Yeah, that's a variant, right?
Yes, sir. That's a variation. So hanger boxes have what's called variations. So there will be a regular base rookie card of Kendrick Nunn, and then they also have a variation. So it's just a different picture, and it's harder to hit. You can hit a regular Kendrick Nunn base rookie card in any Mosaic product, whereas the variation can only be hit in hanger boxes. So these are a lot more scarce than his regular base rookie card, and they'll sell for a lot more. So the winner of our cello is going to get a Kendrick Nunn variation rookie card. So that's a nice card right there. Congratulations. And behind that, we have a green mosaic of the man who beat Aaron Gordon in the dunk competition, Zach LaVine. Then we have orange reactives. That's Daniel House Jr. of the Houston Rockets. Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets. Josh Richardson for the 76ers. And John Collins, Trae Young's teammate on the Atlanta Hawks. There's a Jam Masters insert of Donovan Mitchell. Nice card of the up-and-coming superstar. And then we have a Will to Win. This is also mosaic. So this is an insert, but it's also a parallel. So they do both on the same card. So you got an insert parallel of Russell Westbrook, the Houston Rocket great, known for his time with the Thunder. You have a Hall of Fame card of one of the all-time legends, Dr. J. Tremont Waters rookie card. He's on the Celtics. I think he's on their G League team, which is the minor leagues for basketball. There's an NBA debut rookie card of PJ Washington. He's been one of the better rookies of this draft class. And a rookie card of Darius Bazley. I believe he's also a big-time dunker. He's on the Thunder. To close out our hanger, and all of those cards will go to our second place winner. So we now have these blaster packs right here. So this is going to be one box, but we're going to have 8 cards 8 packs, sorry, and 4 cards per pack. And in blasters, they have, as you can see, blaster exclusive orange fluorescent mosaic prisms numbered to 25. So those are very hard to hit, but if you do, they obviously sell for decent value as they're really tough to hit. You also will get the green mosaics, which I think we pulled 1 of or 2 of in the cello packs. So blasters have green mosaic in them as well. So let's see what we can do from our blaster. And the contents of this box will go to our first place winner. Harrison Barnes, Jaren Jackson Jr. And there's a nice one right there. That is a green mosaic rookie card of Admiral Schofield. So this is what we were talking about before. He's somebody who maybe isn't a big name now, but you never know what he can do. And this is a parallel, so it's harder to hit. This is the kind of card, me personally, I would hold on to. But obviously, it's your card to do what you want. But yeah, a nice, anytime you get like a color card, whether it be green mosaic or orange, whatever it is, of a rookie, that's really what you're looking for. You want that or like a big-time vet. And then we have a Darius Bazley rookie card for the Thunder. And again, guys, you do not, like, we do sell our breaks on eBay, so I know we have the link running on the chat. You don't have to buy in to watch. It is free to watch. You can feel free to jump on my channel anytime. JJ Redick, Bojan Bogdanovic, and that's a nice one right there. Kyrie Irving, that is will to win, and it is mosaic. So that's another insert, but also a parallel. So that's a nice card of Kyrie for the Brooklyn Nets. And there's a USA, Team USA card of Kevin Durant. They also have a USA set in mosaic. So we sell the USA spot separately because on this card, he's on Team USA. So even though he's on the Nets, this card in a group break will go to Team USA. Definitely, if you do check out the channel, come out and say hi. Let me know that you subscribed, you know, due to me being on the ECOM show. And I'll chat with you guys a little bit while doing a break. There's Seth Curry, Steph's brother. D'Angelo Russell, ex-Warrior. He's now on the Timberwolves. He was in that Andrew Wiggins trade. There is a green mosaic of Joe Harris of the Brooklyn Nets. And there's Zion's teammate rookie card. Card.
Yeah, I call it.
Yeah, that's called getting a troll when you're when you buy the Pelicans. You see you got a rookie card, and then you see Nicolo Melli and not Zion. Yep. There's Troy Brown Jr. That's a guy from last year I like quite a bit, by the way. I've invested in his stuff. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Laker. Old school of Stephon Marbury. That's back when he was with the Suns. And that's a nice card right there.
Nice.
MVPs, LeBron James. That is a nice, that's just the regular base version, but anything LeBron is hot right now. That's a card that probably sells for 10 to 15 bucks on eBay. So our first place winner will be getting that along with the rest of the contents of this box. So that card, by the way, so LeBron is obviously on the Lakers now, and he has Lakers cards in the set, as you can see on the back left. But that card would go to the Cleveland Cavaliers if you had bought into a group break, because on that card, he's in the Cavs uniform, and it says Cleveland. We have
he worked so hard on that sign.
What's that?
He worked so hard on that sign he brought to the Cavs.
You know what? We have Alec Burks. Bryn Forbes. There is a green mosaic of Taj Gibson, New York Knicks. And there's a good rookie right there, Brandon Clark. That's Ja's running mate, another guy I like a lot, Brandon Clark. Good rookie right there. Ja Morant will be throwing him alley-oops for many years to come.
Jedi Osman of the Cavs. Dorian Finney-Smith. There's a Jam Masters of DeAndre Jordan, Brooklyn Net. And another rookie card. Melly coming through.
Cation says Melly's actually better than Hayes and Walker Alexander. I've never actually watched Melly, so he could be very good, but I just think Doo Brown.
He's not bad.
So many of his rookie cards.
He's not bad. His issue, like if you're like an investor or whatever, is because he played in Europe for years. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's going to be older than your average rookie. So you have less years of performance from him. So people factor that in, you know. But he's the time that he has gotten to play. Yeah, he's been their second best rookie probably. But the other guys are, you know, maybe 5 or 10 years younger than him. Jonathan Isaac, Nikola Vucevic. And that's a nice one right there. There we go. The man I was talking about before, Kobe White. There we go. That is the green mosaic version. NBA debut rookie card. That's a nice one right there. Our first place winner will be getting this. Congratulations to whoever gets that bad boy. And there's a PJ Washington rookie card. Cards Hunter wants that Kobe. And our last pack of the break. We have Ricky Rubio, Jason Tatum, superstar for the Celtics.
Nice.
Whoa.
That's a monster card right there, guys. That
card right there is probably worth like over $100.
It is definitely worth over $100. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's definitely the grand prize.
I'm glad we picked the blaster box to be first place because you never know what you're going to pull. But as it turns out, the blaster was by far the best. So some other good stuff too. But yeah, that's a big
350.
Right. What's up?
Rev said 350 on that.
That might be. And a Hall of Fame of Charles Barkley.
That's awesome.
Who else is throwing out $350 prizes?
Can I join the giveaway too?
I want in.
All right. Let me put my name in here a few times. Hold on one second.
Wait a minute. I think I've contributed to the show, haven't I?
Right.
Well, I guess.
I might have done a thing. We did a thing or two, I think.
Right.
Awesome.
Rev says, I'm calling it right now. He's winning first place.
I hope so, Rev.
Rev wants that LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, Reseller Man said that. My bad. Reseller Man's calling first place.
Reseller Man. Okay. Let's see who gets it. So,
Nate, do you have the generator up?
Yeah. You just got to.
All right. Let's see how this is going to go down.
So this is all shuffled. All the names are in here. And third place winner. Look at the Mr. Burns in the center of that thing.
That's awesome. I didn't even see him. Who was it? Nick
Pick Thrift. So I'm going to remove all instances, which remove this person from the list. And now.
Yeah.
Or write her down. Write her name down so that way we know who it is.
You got that?
Yeah, I'll write it down real quick.
All right.
Okay, so
second place. Look at Mr. Burns spinning. Brittany Brands, second place winner. And for the big first place.
Yeah, you're making some money if you win this one.
Oh, yeah.
Probably got $400 in cards.
Either that or you're going to have a sick card that's going to keep raising in value.
Simply Dana.
Dang. Simply Dana walking away with the grand finale. Congratulations, guys. I appreciate all the support that you guys have shown the show, and I appreciate you guys showing Kevin the same support that you've shown us. Definitely an honor every day to wake up and spend time with you guys. So congratulations to everybody that was involved in the giveaway. Congratulations to those who won. And thank you so much for, coming out and showing love this morning. Is there anything, Kevin, that you would like to promote before the show ends?
Just definitely, my eBay channel in general. We got it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm going to be doing 2020 Bowman. I got a jumbo case coming in. So those cases right now are selling for about $5,000 online. So we're going to be breaking that. I'm going to be doing half case at a time. So 4 boxes, and 4 boxes, you're guaranteed 3 autographs per box. So that is going to be on Monday night and Wednesday night. We're going to be breaking that case. It's a way of getting in to something at a lower cost. Nobody wants to spend $5,000 of their own money on baseball cards, but you can maybe pick up a team for 20, 30, 40 bucks and maybe get the best card in the break. And then we're doing Mosaic, which we just broke. We do a couple days a week. We'll be back on Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern, breaking Mosaic. We do 9:30 and 11:30. And we'll be breaking Sunday through Wednesday this week, all on eBay. Check us out on eBay, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all those platforms at 718 Breaks. We're going to be doing a lot of good things. We're doing afternoon breaks starting on the 7th. So we'll be doing afternoons as well.
That's awesome, man.
So everyone who likes the giveaway prizes and stuff like that, remember, always comment on the videos of me and Anthony, pre-recorded and lives. You get into that gives you the points.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who was in today in the chat was also in the prize, but that's how you get the bulk of your points. Dana, definitely a big person in the comment section, among with Shane and Cajun. So,
and definitely our winners, I want to make sure as well. Please message Anthony your name and addresses so I can get those shipped out to you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the majority of where we do our points. That first person in the chat, and then we also are going to try and pull in things during the show and give out points as well. So,
and every month,
cool stuff. We do different stuff.
Sorry, Nate.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say every month. Normally, the first show of the month, me and Nate do big giveaway show. So, just stay tuned for that and hang out, and you get to meet some really awesome people. You get some really cool prizes, and we just really appreciate you guys. Buffalo has one last question for you. Just want to know which grading company you'd recommend him send the Griffies to.
PSA, personally.
Yeah, that's what I would go with for sure. Like I said, that has more like thing with the collector. Collector sees PSA and are like all smiles like mama.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sure.
Well, guys, like I said, please go and check out Kevin's channel. You'll definitely find me and Nate there because we're obsessed right now. But there's definitely going to be the hottest of products available at a really good price in Kevin's eBay store. Like he said, you can pick the teams you like. You don't even have to worry about all of the other stuff that you could care less about. You just pick what you want, and that's what he sends you. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of you being here. We will be back on Monday on Nate's channel. Tomorrow, though, we're going to be doing a live where Nate's going to be breaking his mosaic that he has, and I'm actually going to be editing a video of the mosaic that I got because I couldn't wait to open it up. As soon as I got home, I ripped into it. But yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow on Nate's channel. But I definitely appreciate everybody for their support. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. That gets you entered into our giveaways. But I hope to see everybody later on Kevin's channel. Because like I said, me and Nate definitely hang out over there, even when we're not in breaks, which we pretty much always are. So come over there and hang out with us and expand the community. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you later.
Take care, everyone.
Get that money.